So, welcome everyone to this special little video that is about 30 years of creative works. And this is going to be a bit of an info dump video, you can say, because there's a lot to go through 30 years. And we're going to try to keep it, you know, as simple as possible, I guess. Because I think I'll probably make other videos about individual story series or videos and stuff like that. And it sort of makes sense in that sort of way. So we're just going to go try to whip through them. This is like a good overview video, and it will go up on the collection of videos. This is a special video for those folks that want to download the, a higher video res video, and we'll see what happens. So, as we have a look here, there's a lot since 95. And I mean, I started doing creative stuff back when I was a young kid, like 19 years old, and I did sort of Lego type stuff and trains as well. Huh? Autism, yes, of course, I was a fan of trains. And this was really just, buying Lego pieces and acting them out like a stage production show. And that's what I did for the first few years. And then after that, I did The Legend Evermore, which was really like my first novel, sort of 10K, and then it went up to like 37,000, I think, back in high school. I think back in the days of 2002, which was really cool. And there's a few other things here that I will get to now, which was some of the stories here that I did in high school, or what they call college. Chronicles of Vincent Lamour, he was a teacher. Bally, the short love story, was by myself, and the poetry by Sachin Rowell. So he's a old friend of mine in India, so which is pretty cool. Stories and poetry coming together for that type of story. And then I did a few others during college years, Wild Western, sort of a story based on puns and personality speaking, which is sort of like, you know, um, technology gadgets coming to life and talking to the owner of the house and that. A little bit of bizarre story, but just something that popped in my head. And then these things during this year, I had this old software, EJ, which was like a music making software. And I did a little bit of that, which was kind of fun. Music making. I don't know. I think some of them turned out okay. And some of the others are a bit, this was very simple tech back in the day. Oh, and we got to the next page, which was Seasons of the Moon launch, which was pretty big. I did 100,000 word novel back in the day, which was really cool. Fantasy romance novel about a knight and a princess going up against a rival wizard and dragon, and tells the stories, the weather elements, and the thunder dragon, and all that sort of stuff, which was really cool. It took me a long time. It was really tough to write all that out during year 12, living in Canberra during my time. And we had a book launch, we had photos and all that sort of stuff. And we'll do a separate video on this one later on. But it was really cool. We had poetry in it as well, and artwork, characters, and little wallpapers, which is now very small wallpapers because the size of monitors have gone up in the last 20 or so years. Then after that, we did the Ghost Rider, which was another story/poetry type story. We did some poetry as well over that time, which is probably the only time I've done it. I might go back to it, but you never know. I just, it's not so it's hard for me to think of ideas, but I'm just not. I'm just busy doing other stuff in life, I guess, story wise. Then you have Chichisa, who became sort of my manga anime sort of character, first sort of female character living in the world of City of Demons and trying to get her memories back and learning about this sort of dark, sort of gritty world. It's sort of yeah, it's sort of futuristic. It's sort of bit cyberpunk a little bit, maybe, sort of. It's a mix of fantasy and science fiction, so it's an interesting storyline. And it goes to Vampire Cassian and Origins, and you can tell that I was sort of doing a lot of stuff and doing artwork again with random artists over time, which was, and she took up a bulk of my life during that time when I was living in different places and early 20s. Life was a bit rough in terms of getting things together and stuff like that. And we did a little bit of brainstorming, a little bit of photos, which I was starting to get into back then in 2012. We had the Alien the Phoenix, which was cool. That was like a paranormal story. We have Super Bakery Sisters, which is like a bit of a children's tale, which is a bit funny because I'm not the biggest cook in the world, but I made a story about a little girl riding a cow, going around different places and having adventures. And we have DJ, who I've worked with for over a decade. You can see he's done a lot of great work over the years, including Extreme Squad, which is a spin off of Juchisa's brother, and Paranormal Spirits, another one. And unfortunately, he passed away, probably a year or two ago, sadly. So we don't have an artist anymore. But he was, we always got on really well. And it was very sad when he did pass away. There's Extreme Squad 2 there, and then the Author's War, which was kind of like my Avengers in a way, putting all the different characters together after nearly 20 years, and I thought that would be kind of fun to do, and I think it worked out. Go check out the story. Sort of does include myself in it, which is a little bit odd, but I think it works in the storyline because sort of like a parallel universe I sort of made, but I think I made it work in a way that it works nicely. So that was kind of fun to do, like a one-off thing, and I'll probably do something else like that again later on to tie up loose ends, the storylines and things like that. And then we had more Bakery Sisters, did a little Sydney trip, another stories, Alien Phoenix, more sequels, Bakery over the years, did a bit more artwork, and then we started to do like the video era with Gamacom, which was good back in the day, EB Games Expo, working on logos. And you see that I was doing more video and photo stuff around this era. So we had a good setup. My gaming story, which was cool with the Atari. And then we did in 2017 Nero Posthuman, which is really the first cyberpunk futuristic type stuff, people who are part machine and part human, that type of world, which is a bit of a spin-off of Justiça and the Author's War. If you read the storyline of it, it gets trapped in another universe in a way. That's kind of cool. So I'm surprised I whipped through this as quickly as I have, folks. I'm just info dumping stuff. And I did a little thing for when I used to work in childcare. How to wash your hands. It's a little chart that I did. And I thought I'll use one of the story characters to put in there. And I think that worked out really nicely. I think the kids liked it and all that sort of thing. It was a cute little poster thing. I might show it off one day or do a video of it in due course, I suppose. And we had the Universe Guardian, which is another sort of fantasy tale, a spaceship that's sort of alive, has a bit of a personality to it. And then the stories start to dry up again. It's been difficult during this period of juggling doing a YouTube channel and intending engineers and doing writing and stuff like that. It's very difficult. So I moved house, did more photos and holiday stuff, and there's Whisk as well. A big part of the history, I guess, with Nintendo engineers. And then we did more stuff on the YouTube channel, and Whisk passing away in 2020. We did well on last stream, which was very cool, and all of his photos are there, all for free, on the ko-fi.com channel. And we did Nitty Ninja, which was like this mascot for the channel that never really took off. And I think that I'll probably do a couple more stories on him and just sort of, you know, put a ribbon bow on that story as well. There's a few loose ends that I want to fix up with a couple new stories. And then there's another My Gaming story with the Sega Master System 2, showing off the games that I used to play when I was a kid. And the last one, we're nearly at the end, folks. It's a big effort for everyone getting through this. We're trying to... And the rest of it, which I have not seen or cannot find, is more to do with photography and stuff like that. So I think the last 15 releases that I will try to get up very soon is mainly to do with I nearly had the slide, but the slide is missing. So I'm doing this all on the go. And the last 15 is mostly stuff that I've worked with 180 photography with Mr. Frankie, some people know. And we did things like with a gas mask and a couple light sticks and things like that. And I've done another one on Nero Posthuman and Needy Ninja, and we sort of added Luxray's photo shoot. Why not? That was a very cute little photo shoot did last year. And then this year is this video, just going over 30 years of content, which is a lot. And hopefully you've learned a few things, or you might spot something that you might see. So all those folders will be divided up into different spots, like one for stories, one for videos, one for photos, and stuff like that. So that's how I will organize it in the coming days. But that's really all the releases I've done for 30 years. I know it's a real quick crash course, but I could be here for hours explaining the work and things like that. But we'll do that later on with individual stories and videos and stuff like that. And might get some questions from the folks that I can answer in the comments. But yes, see what will happen with future videos and stuff like that. And the cat is clawing at the door. I'm going to go to him now. So I'm going to check out. Big thank you very much for everyone watching this video. And I shall see you next time.